Yeah, it is amazing. It is amazing. And our next honoree, Stephen Tobolowski, also, what a career! I mean, what kind of movies are we talking about with Mr. Tobolowski?
We're talking about everything because he's done a lot of TV work lately. But I guess like with me, I knew the face.
Right.
I knew the face for years, but it wasn't really until his, how should we just say, immortal portrayal of Ned Ryerson in Groundhog Day.
Right.
Because before that movie came out, HBO had a documentary on the making of it, and Bill Murray was talking. He's just like, yeah, with Tobolowski, we just, cleared the room. This guy's insane. We just had, and it meant it in a kind of way, because I think even Murray was aware that this guy's credentials.
Yeah, coming from Bill Murray.
Yeah.
That is quite, Bill Murray being the ultimate class clown.
Yeah.
That is a great compliment.
And you have to say, Tobolowski does steal every scene he's in that film.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you remember a lot of those scenes, and his credits too are. But I think there's something we have to Tobolowski, and this is actually true of everyone we're talking about tonight. They could go from every genre: comedy, horror, drama, science fiction, and feel at home. It was never like they were out of their element. Always in.
Right.
And in every film, and I think with Tobolowski that's very true because there's some dramatic roles of his that are incredible.
Right. He's got an amazing resume, and we'll be talking about that in just a second. Stephen Tobolowski's Birthday Party, a film Stephen Tobolowski himself raves is better than Spider-Man 2. The film follows Stephen as he prepares and hosts a get-together with collaborators, close friends, and family. All along the way, his love and proclivity for great storytelling takes center stage as he recounts seminal moments in his life and career. And what a career it's been, just as Jerry and I have been discussing here. Stephen has appeared in well over 150 film and television projects over the course of the past 20 years. Some of his film credits include Groundhog Day, Mississippi Burning, Great Balls of Fire, The Insider, Sneakers, Memento, and Thelma and Louise. He recently starred as a recurring character named Hugo Jari in the critical and fan favorite Deadwood. And in 2007 alone, Stephen has made unforgettable contributions to the following television series: Entourage, Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, Reigns, John from Cincinnati, and Boston Legal. He really is the James Brown of character actors.
He may very well be. He was great on that episode of Entourage.
Yeah, he is the hardest working man in show business, absolutely. Tonight we are joined by two friends and collaborators of Mr. Tobolowski's who both appeared in the previously mentioned film, Stephen Tobolowski's Birthday Party. Drew Wicks has built an impressive resume in commercials, film, and television for the better part of the past decade, appearing in everything from the instant cult classic Snakes on a Plane to the hit series Mad Men, Ghost Whisperer, and Scrubs. Wayne Thomas York is another highly accomplished talent whose credits include Meet the Fockers and the TV shows The West Wing, Crossing Jordan, Veronica Mars, CSI, and Third Rock from the Sun. It is a tremendous honor to welcome both of these great talents to our show. Are you both there, Drew and Wayne?
Yeah, I'm here. Drew. This is Drew.
Hey, Wayne, are you on the other line?
Actually, this is Michael Schroeder. I'm the director of Man the Chair that M. Emmett Walsh was in.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I think I got switched in on the wrong time or something. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. If you could just if you could hold for just a moment.
Oh, surely. Sure.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. It's very complicated scheduling this many guests for a show. It gets tricky. But Drew, thank you so much for joining us to speak about Mr. Tobolowski.
My pleasure. He's one of my favorite guys, so I'm happy to do it.
Absolutely. How and when did you first meet Stephen?
Stephen has been part of my theater company for many years, and I'd always known him. I'd seen his directorial work, and of course his acting work on TV and film. And I was actually on my way out of the company. I was thinking I need to move on and do something else. Stephen called me, and I said, "Why don't you come in and read for this play?" It was a J.M. Barrie play called What Every Woman Knows. And I said, "All right, I don't even know the play, but I'll read it cold." I read it cold in his garden for him, and he and his wife said, he's great. He put me in the play, and I never looked back, and I'm still with the company. So I credit Stephen for keeping me in the company and keeping me energized in theater. So.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah. I think that Wayne just got on the line. I think this is him. Wayne, is that you?
Hi, this is Wayne.
Hey,
Wayne.
How are you, sir?
Hey guys, good. How are you?
Great. We just read an intro for both yourself and Mr. Drew Wicks, who's with us as well.
Hi, Wayne.
Fantastic. Hi, Drew. How are you?
Good to talk to you.
So, Wayne, tell us how you first met Stephen.
I was doing a play at Theater 40, the same company Drew was referring to. It's a Beverly Hills theater company. It's a great little theater company. And I was doing a play called Chekhov in Yalta, and the director who was doing the show got a job, and he had to leave the show. And somebody said, well, there's going to be somebody else coming in. And I said, well, I really wanted to work with this first director. And somebody said, well, it's Stephen Tobolowski. You know, he's Tony Award nominated. And I thought, hey, this could be great. And it turned out to be so fantastic. He's such, as Drew said, he's just a joy to work with, and he's a wonderful listener, as a lot of actors who also direct are. He's just got a great ear, and he lets you go as an actor and just kind of explore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, we get a sense of, or we think we get a sense of who he might be from his many performances. You know, a little wild, very funny. There's a class clown kind of aspect to him. Is that accurate, Drew, or how would you describe him?
Yeah, no, that's pretty accurate. The thing about Stephen is, I think more than any other actor I know, he really utilizes all of who he is. He's a big, tall, kind of dorky guy. I mean, that's who you meet but inside is this wonderful heart and an amazing ability for acting. And he uses all of himself. And the great thing is when you watch him on screen, you watch him on stage, he's completely truthful. He is exactly who he says he is. There's no pretense. There's no bag of tricks. Stephen he brings 100% of himself to each role. So I think what you see on the screen, what you see on stage is Stephen. I mean, you really get a good sense of who he is. So,
how about you, Wayne? How would you describe him?
I always find Stephen to be quite quiet. He'll pull, like as a director, he'll pull you aside and he'll give you some great notes, things that I still use today in shows that I've done since working with Stephen. But I don't really see that kind of outgoingness that goes into some of his characters. And you go to his home. We rehearsed a show there, Blue Silence, that he directed, and all of a sudden he sits down behind his piano, beautiful piano, and he plays beautifully. But it's just something I never would have kind of put with Stephen, that he's a beautiful piano player, but sure enough, there he is, and he's fantastic.
So you say that you've taken things from him and notes and such and learned from him. What kind of lessons have you picked up from him?
Well, it's such a goofy little actor thing, and it doesn't probably sound like too much, but there was a scene in Blue Silence where I was kind of an unlucky in-love cop, and I had this scene with somebody who I thought was kind of, well, maybe I have a chance with her, when I think in reality I didn't, but I kind of think as a character I do. And we rehearsed it in his home, and it felt good, at least from where I was coming from. And then we got into the theater, and I said, I just feel, I don't know, I feel kind of vulnerable. I feel kind of like it's not right. And he said, Wayne, and it's so simple. He said, Wayne, imagine you're still in my living room. And I know it sounds really simple, but it just kind of clicked, and it's like, wait a minute. That's so true, and it just worked just in being intimate and just thinking, wait a minute, I'm not in front of 100 people or however many people. Right. I'm here with this woman, and that's all I have to focus on, and I still use it.
Well, speaking of pretend like you're in the living room, I want to talk about Stephen Tobolowski's birthday party, which is kind of a gathering of some collaborators and friends of his as he sits around his home and relays these terrific stories. Tell me a little bit about how you became involved in that project, Drew.
Let's see. Well, we developed a good relationship, Stephen and I, and just working together. He invited myself and my wife, along with Wayne and many other friends that he had gathered in the theater company. So when this project was coming together, we had that history because all of us have heard Stephen's stories, and they're all classic. I mean, they're just a joy. So when this was coming together, and the fact that an outside director and friend of his recognized the power of these stories and wanted to put them into cinematic form was very exciting for us. So when he called us, it was an easy yes. We'll be there. You sign us up. So that's how it works.
So I want to ask you both about some of these stories, but starting with you, Wayne, do you have a favorite Stephen Tobolowski story?
Oh, boy. Just going back a little bit, I remember being asked to be in the show, and I can't remember if he described it to me what it was going to be. It was going to be a movie of him telling stories. I thought, oh, dear. Gee, what am I doing Friday now? Gosh, okay. I didn't realize what a beautiful storyteller he was and how beautiful stories could be, but I could have sat there all evening, all afternoon. But trying to think of a favorite, wow.
Did he tell that story about, did he talk about Bill Murray in the film? Did he talk about that? That might be one that he didn't talk about. Just putting together the Groundhog Day and stuff. That was one of my.
Yeah. What was that about?
Just how that came about, and I certainly don't want to bash Bill Murray at all because Bill Murray is one of my favorite actors, and but I think the energy that Stephen brought to the set and to the scene was a little bit threatening for Bill Murray, based on what the story I remember. And I took Bill Murray some adjustments to kind of, okay, this guy's really bringing his stuff, and I gotta adjust to this. So Stephen recalls a little bit of friction with that, but out came this beautiful scene between the two of them.
Oh, it's classic.
So that's one of my favorites, of a guy who just really comes in and brings the improv and brings the spirit of theater really to the film and made a great scene.
Yeah, is that what you get when you cast Stephen Tobolowski, Wayne? Is it that kind of theatricality? Is he that 100% present actor?
Oh, I find he's completely focused, and again, back to listening, which is so important for an actor and a director. He completely listens, and I watched Mississippi Burning last night, and that is such a powerful performance, and he's so there and so spooky compared to like Ned Ryerson or something like that. But he's completely focused, like an arrow.
Yeah, and he really can play all of those facets with equal ease, or at least it would seem equal ease. The dark kind of ominous characters, and just the goofy, lovable characters as well. He can really do everything.
I think because he plays with such intensity. So if it's like the KKK in Mississippi Burning, it's not funny in any way, but he's really intense about it. But if he's like Ned Ryerson, the insurance salesman, it's so intense, or he's so focused, it's really funny.
Yeah.
It's just his focus.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your own careers. Drew, tell me how you got started in the business here.
Actually, when I was thinking about what we'd be talking about, there was a quote. I had a drama teacher, back in 5th grade, 6th grade. I'd take a summer theater program, and there was a teacher that really inspired me. And one thing that he said to me is, he said, the good thing about you is that you're not afraid to look stupid. That was one thing that he said to me back in. He kind of used that as an example to the other kids, because kids are like, I got to look cool in front of everybody else, but in theater you got to put yourself out there. And he complimented me on that, and I always held that close to my heart. To not be afraid. Yeah. And when I think about Stephen, actually, it's a direct parallel. Stephen is, and I'm not saying he looks stupid, but he puts himself completely out there, and he brings all of the interesting facets of who he is, and celebrates it on screen or on stage. So that's one of the great things.